Making my cravings kidney friendly. Today I'm following plant-use caramelized onion pasta recipe, and I'm gonna show you how I made it more kidney friendly. I've put the link to the recipe in the caption, and I'm also gonna use chronometer to count the potassium in this recipe. Just a disclaimer, and I put this in my last video in this series, but I'm a beginner at cooking, so this video is not really instructional. I just wanted to show you how I tweak this recipe to better fit my dietary restrictions as a dialysis patient. And while I can't guarantee that it will be super delicious or flavorful for everyone, I was really happy with how this recipe turned out, and I hope you guys like it too. So finally, let's go through some of the changes that I made. Okay, so first, the recipe calls for 5 yellow onions and a whole head of garlic. But that's quite a lot, so instead I used 2 onions, and these onions are quite big. They weighed about 260 grams. And I also used half a head of garlic, which is about 6 cloves. Also, can I just say, cutting these onions made me cry so much. Anyway, secondly, the recipe calls for sun-dried tomatoes and their oil, but I don't have those. But I saw online that bell peppers give a similar flavor, so I used half of this bell pepper, which weighed 17 grams, and 2½ tablespoons of olive oil. Third, the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. I didn't have dried parsley, so I just used Italian seasoning. And to lessen the sodium, I only used 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then I mixed it all up, and because I'm using olive oil, I baked it for 1 hour at 175 degrees Celsius instead of 205, which is what the recipe instructs you to do. Olive oil's smoke point is 180 degrees Celsius, so I thought that 205 would burn the onions. And then 4, while the onions were cooking, I made homemade macadamia cream. The recipe uses coconut milk, which is quite high in potassium, so instead I soaked 28 grams or 1 ounce of macadamia nuts for a few hours and then blended them with 3 tablespoons of water to make macadamia cream. You can do this with other kinds of nuts like cashews or walnuts, but I use macadamias because they're lower potassium. Finally, when the onions were done cooking, I added the cream, around 8 leaves of basil, juice from 1/2 lemon, pasta water, and 4 servings of brown rice pasta. I use this brown rice pasta so that it's gluten-free. Then I mix those together, and I would suggest using short pasta like macaroni or fusilli instead of long pasta like spaghetti. It will make mixing a lot easier. And I gotta say, as someone who's adapted to a low sodium diet, this pasta is really good. It has a little bit of spice from the paprika, some sourness from the lemon, creaminess from the macadamias, and that richness and sweetness from the caramelized onions. My family liked it too actually, but even if they don't have to eat kidney friendly, they're also quite used to my kidney friendly food. And finally, let's check the potassium in this recipe. So the total we have is 1,514 milligrams. Since we used 4 servings of pasta, let's divide this by 4. Each serving of this caramelized onion pasta has 378.5 milligrams of potassium, which can definitely be fit into a renal diet. For me personally, this is about how much, if not less, than I usually allot for my carbs and vegetables each meal. So I ate it with some meal prep tofu for protein. I also put the sodium and phosphorus for those wondering. And that's it for this video. If you try out this recipe, I really hope you like it because I studied this for quite a while, trying out different quantities of each ingredient in chronometer to really make it kidney friendly. And if you do make it, please tag me. Also, please like, follow, and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And thank you so much for watching until the end. Goodbye and God bless.